What's up? Hey all, hey y'all. Welcome back to From the Office with Stafford-Tiger. This is case 2 and we will be discussing the meaning of friendship. Now, as I move about in my day-to-day life, I hear different people say, "Oh, I don't have any friends." Then I hear other people say, "Well, oh yeah, I have friends. My friends mean everything to me." And then I hear other people say, "Oh, I don't have friends. I have associates. I have acquaintances," which there is a difference between a friendship and an acquaintance or an associate. An associate is someone you meet like you may meet them like let's say at a function or a social event and y'all may just talk to each other every now and then and hang out. And also that's what an acquaintance is. But a friendship is way deeper. A friendship is like a ride or die, whether you up, whether you down. They have your back. They know everything that you're going through at that moment. That's if you tell them, of course. You know, we don't always want to share everything. Some things we want to keep private, but they know a lot about you. They know simple things like your favorite dishes, your favorite foods, your favorite colors, just basic things. Or maybe y'all grew up together. That's a real friendship, and I have a few of those myself. So childhood friendships are important, you guys. Now, children that were homeschooled, I don't too much know about that because I haven't met anyone that was homeschooled, but I know what happens. But when you go to public and private school, you do meet your friends. Sometimes you meet real friends that you grow up with. You have like long relationships with, like you guys go all the way through high school together. You guys went to each other's birthday parties. You guys have they had your back. Y'all maybe went to the same college, or maybe y'all didn't, but y'all just kept in touch. So for the people that are saying that say like, oh, I don't have any friends, usually people that are that way are people that have had like a really really traumatic or hard life or childhood, because sometimes when people say that is because they've been done wrong throughout their lives, whether it was in childhood, whether it was in later on, but they've been burnt so badly to where they feel like they can't trust nobody. They're like, oh, I don't have any friends, or I don't do all of that, or I'm just by myself. I just want to be by myself. I don't mess with anybody. And I'm just gonna say real quickly, I understand y'all that things are not fair, and sometimes we're dealt uncomfortable situations or we're dealt cards that are unfair. But at the same time, as I tell people all the time, we're not put here to coexist amongst each other by ourselves. You are gonna need someone, and then not only that, but like if you're dating or if you're in a relationship, that person most likely maybe was your friend first before they became, your love interest. So you have to think about that. But don't just write everyone off, because if you consider yourself to be an honest person or a decent person, there's somebody else out there in the world that's just like you. I understand you gotten your heart broken, or you had your heart broken several times, or been in situations that were not fair, but you should never just throw everyone away. You should at least give people a chance. You don't have to trust them all the way. You don't have to trust them at all if you don't want to, at least yet. But it's important that you give people a chance, because you never know who you're going to meet and come across that's going to help you through a situation, or that's going to be kind of like that angel in that vessel, or that God like figure that's going to help you figure things out when you're going through a hard time. We all need somebody at some point. Now, me myself, I like a balance, because I get a lot of my inspiration from people, being someone that isn't an aspiring artist, someone who writes their own songs, someone that likes to create and that thinks about all of these different things. I get a lot of my creativity and my inspiration from other people, but I'm well balanced because I also like to spend time alone and do things that only I enjoy doing. So balance is important, but it's never okay to be alone and by yourself all the time. It's not healthy. I don't need anybody. I don't need this person. I don't need friends. I don't need that's a lie. That's the biggest lie that we've been told, is that lonely is the way to go. So I need y'all to think about that, who are listening, who feel that way. I understand what you went through wasn't fair, but just think about what I just said, you know? Friendship though, don't misunderstand me though. Friendship is important, but there are a lot of people that have friends, or that are friends, or consider themselves someone's friend, that have it all wrong. Let me tell y'all, just because you hang out with somebody, just because y'all go partying, y'all go clubbing, y'all stay out late, That's something you do, like what I described earlier as an associate or an acquaintance. A friend is much deeper than that. A friendship is somebody that is there with you when you're up and when you're down. And when you're down, when they have time, or if they have time, or if they can, they try to help you figure out how to get through certain things. I went through experiences before where I did need someone, and I had to kind of rethink some things because there was a situation that I went through before, and I had this large group of friends. I think I was maybe like 18 or 19 years old. I had just started college. And I remember it was like, it would be always people at my house, like almost every evening. And I had to kind of rethink some things because I'm just like, okay, if we supposed to be boys, if y'all supposed to be my friends and my right arm man or whatever and be there for me, you know, when I went through whatever I was going through at the time, with my depression, and I was going through a depression because I was struggling to become an artist, and it was just really hard, and I just felt trapped. And sometimes I just may have needed somebody to talk to or whatever. But I didn't really have any of them, and I had to rethink. I said, you know what? I appreciate the fun times we have and the good vibes and all, but that's not a friendship. These are associates. These are acquaintances. That's what I will call this. Because if you guys were my friends, just like I looked out for y'all and had each of y'all's back at one point or another, I feel like you should have had mine. And I didn't take it too personal. I just said, I need to regroup and I need to maybe, you know, kind of cut some people off or draw back from some people for a little while. Because my thing is, I know what the true meaning of a friendship is. And over time, people show you who they really are. You don't have to ask a person, you don't have to work to dig it out of them. They'll show you over time. And then as they show you what they show you, you'll learn and know how to move with them. Or if you need to move with them at all, let's just get the hell away from them. Like, okay, I need to get the hell away from you. Okay, this is not gonna work. You gotta, rethink some things. When you're up and you have all of that victory, you have a reign of victory, you're making all this money, you partying, you're doing all these things, you're celebrating your victory. You just graduated, you just got your degree, you just got a record deal, you just bought a new car, you just bought a new house, you've got mail. No, I'm just kidding. No, but you just did something amazing. Something amazing just happened. Everybody's there to celebrate, especially if you with somebody, you with friends and stuff, and they know like you have money or whatever because of what you do for a living. They're gonna be there. But what happens when you have a valley, when you down the valley and everything takes a dip, your happiness takes a dip? Look around. The numbers get very, very skimpy, don't they? You're like, wait a second. Just last year was my year. All my bros was there. I had my girls with me or whatever, or whoever was there, and then all of a sudden, now that you down and out, you can't get nobody even respond to your damn text message. You can't get nobody to get on the phone with you. I know, because I've been there. It's not cool. It's like, where did y'all go? I thought y'all were my friends. So that tells you right there. These were associates or acquaintances. Friends or friendship is deeper. Like, oh, I need help with this. Can you help? Can you tutor me on this? I don't know if I can tutor you on this, but I can help find you a tutor. Or like just for a quick example, one of my friends, and I did say friend, it's not an associate or acquaintance. One of my friends, he has like a modeling gig coming up. I'm going with him because I told him you can't trust everybody. You got to be careful, bro. So I'm going with him to just kind of just support him and make sure there's no funny business going on, or nothing, no weird stuff is going on in there, whatever. I didn't want him to go by himself, but that's a friend. That's a friend, and then that's somebody that's going to actually look out for you and be there for you. Or like, um, one of my friends that they had like they got into they had a stalker once a few months ago. That was scary, and he had to move. I wasn't able to help him move because I was going out of town that weekend. Plus, I had to work, but I did look out for him because I made sure that he was settled in good, and I told him I will go see him, and I bring him a little housewarming gift, things like that. And last example, a friend of mine got food poisoning from some seafood he had eaten. Now, he's from Mississippi, so he went there to get treatment. But I did call him at work and FaceTime him, in the hospital, making sure he was okay. But what was good was one of our other friends was there with him too. So he had, people there to look out for him and stuff. But y'all, that is what friendship is. That's what brotherhood is. That's what sisterhood is. That's what family is. You look out for the people that you claim to care about or love the most, or that you down for, that you're right, that's your ride or die. So re-examine the people around you, and stop calling everyone your friend. But never run away from friendships when the opportunity presents itself, because sooner or later you are going to need somebody. They're going to need somebody. And I don't know about y'all, but when I'm able to help or extend a healing hand or a helping hand to somebody, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good, and it makes me feel like I'm serving my purpose, because I don't mind helping people and I don't mind looking out for people. It's just that you got to make sure that you don't allow yourself to be taken advantage of. You can still y'all you can still deal with them. Y'all can go out, y'all can party and stuff, but don't let people use you. And just as bad as it may seem, you got to think, oh, maybe this person's not really my friend, but that's okay. We cool, but this is not my friend. So you have to kind of think those things. And what also inspired this episode in this case of the From the Office with Stafford-Tiger podcast is one thing that I'm seeing now is like, and I'm not knocking social media, we all use it. Social media is good and all, but I think that as humans, we've allowed it to kind of divide us. And I'm going to talk more about that in a different case. But one of the things I'm seeing with Generation Z now is a lot of them are saying that it's hard for them to have or find true friends. Everybody's lonely. And then I had to ask myself, I said, why is everybody lonely? And I said, if we poured as much time into just what I'm doing now, like just face to face talking, there's nobody here, but I'm saying like, face to face talking, human connection, less people will feel lonely, and a lot of problems will go away. But we live online, we live on Snapchat, we live on Instagram, we live on Facebook, and I think that we've allowed it to really divide us because everybody's just concerned about themselves, how many hits they've got, how many people saw their story, how many people liked their photos. And the thing about it is, you know, being an attention whore is not a good thing. It's really not. And in the midst of that, we've allowed ourselves to become our own, like almost like our own gods, basically. It's like we love everybody wants praise and attention and and validation. And you got so many people walking around like, I don't care what people think of me. I don't care what people think of me. I don't care what people. Well, if you don't care, then why the hell are you constantly on Instagram looking at how many people liked your photo? It makes no sense. I think you do care. That's called silent validation, because you're not saying it, you're not trying that hard, but you spend so much time on social media. Talk to somebody. Go talk to your neighbor. Kids don't play outside no more. We need like we need to get back to that. That's how I met some of my childhood friends, is not only from elementary school, but from playing in the neighborhood at my grandmother's house. I made so many friends. I haven't seen some of them in some years, but I made friends all up and down the street, around the corner, around the other block, then back around this block, then to Jenny's block, to all the blocks. I had a lot of neighborhood friends, and we all played outside. We rode bikes, and what I can say is, just 2 years ago, I had dinner with a female friend that I've been knowing since we was about like maybe 6 years old. But that's what I'm saying. That connection, we're losing that, and that's what's it's tainting relationships. It's tainting friendships. So, people, please, you need somebody, okay? So talk to somebody, okay? Please. And I don't like people. I don't like people. I've been done wrong too. I've been burned. I've had people I thought I can trust. It's been people that have done stuff to me for absolutely no reason. It's people that have been nasty and mean to me for no reason. But that ain't everybody. And you got to remember that. That ain't you, and it ain't everybody. So you go find people that are like you, and you build community, build friendship, build loyalty, build associates or acquaintances if you don't want to call them your friend. But human connection is important. It's good for the soul. It's good for the mind, the body, and the spirit. Okay. So please just go talk to somebody. All right. And that is all I got for y'all. I'm signing off from the office, and I will talk to y'all next time. And remember, go out into the world and be great. And don't be a moment. Make sure you be a lifetime. All right. All right, y'all. Take care.